Welcome back to HGC Europe. We have just watched game number 1 between Dignitas and Tricked eSport, and Dignitas, for the first time it feels like, just came out swinging.
Yeah, they looked good in that, for sure. We were saying just during the break as well, like, on Infernal Shrines, everyone kind of forgets about Sylvanas in Europe, and then it gets picked up at the end and then kind of dominates.
Yeah, it's always the 4th or 5th time. It's so weird to see. Well, we'll see what gets drafted here in our next battleground here. Let's go ahead and look at the entire process so far. Here are the 9 maps that our teams can play on. Dig banned out Warhead Junction. Tricked eSports banned out Tumo Spider Queen. Dig did pick Infernal Shrines, and now Tricked will be picking up Cursed Hollow, which does mean that Dig will get first pick in our series.
Yep, and it can be a little bit scary. I think that they will probably... The funny thing is that they don't necessarily even need to ban Ragnaros, because kind of the pattern in picks that we've seen on the side of Tricked eSports. It's not to say that they can't play it, it's just that they haven't played it yet. And like, I think Eternal can quite easily adapt to that situation and probably play a blinder of a Ragnaros if given the opportunity. So.
Well, we'll see if they go to that route. Something to think in the back of your mind, too, is that we did see Tricked play a little bit of an Abathur in the past. So, Abathur, this is one of the battlegrounds that it could be pulled out. So, keep that in your mind. Illidan and Abathur could be a thing. And that's what Dignitas is to be thinking about with their bans and their choices.
All right. So, do they ban a Ragnaros is my question. No, they're still going to ban Tasta first. They really, really don't want to play against it, because I would have imagined that Tricked would have banned it themselves.
Yeah, I also imagine that you're just not even trying them in scrims the last couple of weeks. It feels like all of Europe has just agreed, we're not playing Tassadar until the rework comes out. So you just ban it out so you don't have to actually take the first pick if Tricked eSport were to leave it up for the choosing. Now, Tricked, what do you ban out? Do you ban out the Ragnaros? We saw it last game. Could definitely be a choice.
Yeah, I think it'll be good here. And it will be the case. I don't think you want to give people it on this map as well. It's very powerful. Not only even just like for defensive purposes and offensive purposes, also delaying with Molten Core onto those tributes if you find yourself in a sticky situation where you can't really go too far forwards.
Well, in the past, we've seen Dig pick up Malfurion and ETC first. ETC is actually the choice here for them. Usually, they've been getting the Malfurion, but it seems that they've adjusted their draft a bit in the last couple of weeks. I like to see them evolving here. Again, a sign of a very strong team. As they continue to keep moving through the weeks of HGC, they're just setting themselves up for the meta. Malfurion also is a great pick on this battleground just because of his ability to poke around those tributes. And, of course, we know he's one of the strongest healers available for the teams. Tricked eSports will stay true to tradition. They are getting their Tychus and their Dahaka.
All right, so the thing that I'm concerned about is does Dignitas want Arthas again? Because they know that Tricked eSports might work more warriors in, especially since they have Tychus on their side, and it's only Dahaka. He's not normally a solo warrior. And they know... Oh, okay, Malfurion and Falstad is another thing that we needed to theorize, because Malfurion is always coming in before that second ban phase for Team Dignitas, and Falstad seems to be in good position for them as well.
Yeah, I like your thought process there of the whole, maybe they'll go down the Arthas route. They still have the ban available for them that they can go and take it away from. But I think they also just don't want to take Arthas too early here, because that gives Tricked eSport all the power, and a Falstad against an Arthas can be incredible. The moment Arthas finally gets that engage or that flank, Falstad just drops a Mighty Gust and you go in for the fight. But I like the thought process there. I don't know if Tricked eSports will pull out their Arthas on this battleground. It is a comfort pick for Alex Aproji, though.
I'd like to see Dahakaterial. I think Dahakaterial on this map gives them a lot of good control. It's enough front line, and they will ban Arthas themselves. Okay, what did I want to say? During the break, I was theorizing Tricked eSports seems to have this weird thing where like warriors are their limiting factor. Either they have too few or they have too many. They need to find like a happy medium in between.
Maybe they should, I don't know, play ETC or Muradin, one of those heroes that you can solo with.
Yeah.
Dignitas banned out Rhaegar, and just so you guys know, the Rhaegar ban makes a lot of sense here, just because of what we've seen from Tricked eSport. When they go double warrior, Rhaegar is one of the best for bolstering a front line like that, just because you get the chain heals available, so you don't have to focus on one target. You can drop one-on-one that's relatively low and still get the side effect of the chain heal popping around. So the ban from Dignitas takes away the Rhaegar from Trick, which we've seen a lot from Nape.
I like this. All right, so strong front line, not necessarily the control of Ethereal, but Muradin Dahaka is good. get yourself Zeratul, get Eternal on that. He can be a playmaker. I think he had a bit of a rough week one on his Zeratul play, but that's because he was up against, you know, fantastic teams, and maybe the coordination just wasn't there for the team just yet. But this is definitely a hero he can thrive on. And also, it takes it away from Xaylia if, on the other side, that is something that we're thinking about.
With the Zeratul pickup, does Dignitas start thinking about the Medivh? You get the reveal available, so you can actually deal with Zeratul relatively well. Zeratul, though, is a bit of a soft counter against Medivh, but having that poke and those portals around the tribute is something that Dignitas has been favoring a lot lately on Cursed Hollow. Actually, a lot of Europe. I've seen, we've seen 4 or 5 Medivhs just on this battleground in particular. So that could be the route that Dignitas goes for. But I would like to see another damage dealer mixed in here. And I wouldn't mind seeing a solo ETC from them. Jaina could be the choice. Also, we could have Li Ming here.
Is going to be at that lock-in.
And there's Li Ming.
Okay.
Cool. So we get Li Ming, Thrall, Falstad, Malfurion, and ETC. Does Trinity eSport finish up the Jaina? Are they capable of running these multiple
need a
melees?
healer. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That trips me up sometimes as well.
Well,
it's so tasty and tantalizing, but...
I mean, you could always just accidentally lock it in and be like, my bad, team. I didn't realize we needed a healer.
Yeah, you get to the point where they're like, Jaina is like, all that time, I'm like, they need to control their warrior amount. I'm like, no, you need to control your support amount. Get a support quickly.
So with Veigar being banned out and Malfurion taken, what is the support you take here? Ariel could make sense. However, I feel like you do need some cleanse for the ETC. But Ariel could work with the ability with her Detainment Strike. We've seen that pass. I'm just not sure what Napi's full pool is available to him.
I think the more outside of the box ones are Ariel and Uther. I don't think he plays Brightwing that much. It's probably my go-to choice here. But Uther, there it is. All right.
I like it.
Interesting.
You're going to be lacking on heals for a tad bit, but you do get the Divine Shield for Zeratul if he gets a little bit too aggressive. Uther will have to be incredibly aggressive with his positioning to make sure to land those Divine Shields. Okay, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I feel like they're going to hurt a lot from Li Ming poke, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
Like, around Tribute phase, if I'm Dignitas, I think, okay, we don't need the Tribute right away. All we need to do is drop a good 30 seconds here, poke around a little bit, let Li Ming do her thing, and we're good to go. We do have a tweet, though, from our boy Caldor, who will be here soon at HGC Europe. So, Caldor, what are you saying about the HGC? Getting my cardio in while watching HGC Europe. If you haven't tuned in yet, you're doing it wrong. Team Dignitas against Tricked eSport. Caldor, can't wait to see you soon, buddy, and keep getting buff. You're going to make me go to the gym at some point, I bet. But dude's getting ripped, per usual.
Don't muscle guys hate the cardio bit? Isn't that like...
I mean, I would imagine so. That's the worst part I have of it, man.
Yeah?
I'd rather have a hamburger than go run a mile, but some people are on that life for
that
some
American
reason.
life.
I know, right? Hamburger or treadmill? Hamburger.
I'm with the hamburger as well.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Looking at the matchup, Caloris, your thoughts right away.
I think that Dignitas actually has a lot of comfort in what they have. When you're looking down, it's like, I see that Snitch he's a Falstad. I see that Mene is a Li Ming. I see that Xaylia is a Thrall. So it's, I think they're going to be in a really comfortable position. As much as Nape is good on Uther, and I've seen it before, Uther's still not in that position where he's going to save lives forever and ever. Eventually, something has to fall against the coordination of Dignitas. So I think Dignitas is in a good spot.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'm looking at Eternal to make plays here.
Yes, definitely.
I need Zeratul to get in the back line and take out an important member, whether it be the Malfurion or the Li Ming, which is hard, by the way, as Zeratul. You can get on Li Ming relatively well. Malfurion has some tools, but we'll see how it all shakes out as game number 2 between Dignitas and Tricked eSports is now popping off here. Game 2, best of 5 series. Let's do it.
It's popping off, is it?
It's popping off, man. That's a new phrase I picked up. I just wanted to start throwing it out there.
It's all popping off.
It's just popping off. It's popping off, mate. Just drop it off.
I've been around you for too long already. All right, to the left-hand side in the blue, it is Dignitas. Currently 1 game up here against Tricked eSport as they look to continue their road towards top 3.
And on the far right, it will be Tricked eSport here. And they will be in the red. Here they are, Crosby playing the Tychus and the Eternal here on the Zeratul. Eternal is the one that Claris and I both have mentioned. There's Rumor Baller on Dahaka. That he is a guy that you need to watch this game. He has to have a phenomenal game. because the composition he's facing off against is going to be relatively hard to deal with. All 5 members of Dignitas move to the bottom right here to make a play on a turret.
Yeah, they're going to the towers, so that's nice to start things. We don't have Sylvanas, but we really don't care. We're just going to get another tower again. And if that happens a 3rd game in a row, then unfortunate for Tricked eSports, really, down the line. But there's not a whole lot you can do other than go to mid lane and hope to rotate to one of the outside locations. Because it doesn't have to be bot lane. It could be top lane, could be anything. But the reason you see Dignitas prioritizing bot lane is because that is, on their side of things, the most important lane for them to get damage done as quickly as possible, to open it up as fast as possible for a boss.
Yeah. Spot on analysis there from Kalaris. One of the best things you can do there. Just make sure you set yourselves up for later. It's always about the next move when you're playing. But the next move for JPL is the power slide away as Alex Aproji comes in from the engaged. Nape with the stun is just not enough, and Mane will start the poke here on the middle lane. Falstad is facing off against Tahaka in the top lane, and Thrall's in the bottom lane against Zeratul. However, a Murden is sneaking on by. Zelia playing safe.
Be careful. Be very quiet. Shh. Don't tell him. Nope, never mind. Alex is like, balls to it.
Thrall is one of those heroes, man, that you don't really have to force the lane to push or anything. You can really just kind of float on. No, I'm surprised.
Oh no!
He's so sneaky. The missed power slide on Zeratul can jump away, but in the middle, Alex Aproji is getting body blocks on Bakery. Bakery, though, just right-clicking away, not even having the juke here, knowing that he has gotten out of the worst here.
I mean,
missing that Storm Bolt.
It's such a shame. I wish the roles were reversed. Zeratul is the sneaky, shadowy guy. Muradin is probably one of the least sneakiest, fat little dwarves, jumping around, smashing into the ground and shouting.
Are you saying Muradin is not aerodynamic? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Precisely.
Are you beard shaming?
I am. Yes, I know from experience that beards don't make you aerodynamic. There you go.
Oh my
I don't flow through the water like Mr. Phelps, is what I'm trying to tell you.
A clean face is a smooth face here.
Yes.
Polaris giving all the information. Back to the 2-minute mark. We have the Giants being grabbed for both teams. This is super standard. And now the tribute should spawn in the next 30 seconds. Most likely around this time you'll see it, but it can go all the way up to 2 minutes and 45 seconds before it does start popping up on the battleground. Dignitas will be holding the middle lane relatively well here, and Falstad's doing great at the top lane, and this is a great spawn for Falstad. It's always about the first RNG of the tribute. From there you can start figuring out where it's going to be. There is some factors that you need to think about, but the first one is always RNG, and it works out here for Dignitas. They are actually already set up and ready to go.
And that's going to be a Zeratul attempt, and that's a great little lockdown for the moment. Will get out of there, though, as he was just not stunned for long enough. JPL will be the counter kill, and that is first blood going over to Tricked eSport.
Yeah. Immediate pickup, great counter kill. Nape starts the grab of the tribute. Is there a poke here? Bakery will be able to grab that with the Moonfire. Needs to be careful not to walk in that bush, though. Luckily, he has a scouting drone to reveal that Alex Aproji was waiting for him to walk into his bearded arms. But unfortunately, that will not occur for him. Beards are soft. Quit hating. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I mean, yeah, mine is as well. I'm okay with this. I'm fine. One thing that is standing out to me is that Nape is going piano Uther, keyboard Uther.
Ooh.
So I'm excited for that, because all too often now, when in the very rare instances we get to see Uther, it's always, you know, the wave. But getting to see this will be fun. It's a very high skill cap, I think, on that build for Uther. What do you think?
There's a lot of moments that you have to connect with. You have to hit your protective shield, you have to hit your benediction. There's a lot of things that you have to really just like isolate and hit that high risk, high reward on. Tychus, so does get power sighted on in the middle, will be taken out, but at the same time, Thrall in the bottom lane, Zelia gets caught by Eternal and Alex Aproji and the help of Nape here. The CC available for Tricked eSport, that is one thing that we never talk about when it comes to Uther, is what he brings to the table in terms of control, and the isolated stun can be quite powerful when you do get those picks.
Oh yeah, the fact that it's just a targetable stun to follow up on anything, and it's like, you're not going to miss it. You don't miss it. It doesn't work like that. So it's nice to see that there is a potential follow-up there from them. As Nape is going to move on towards Jay. Stun. Almost get the kill. That was a good cleanse there coming out from Bakery, and JPL will escape.
I like the aggression from Alex Aproji here. I feel like he's been a bit timid the last couple of weeks, but today, in this Murden right now, he is really in the face of his opponents. Here's a Stormbolt right on Snitch. Eternal goes in with the Singularity Spike. JPL will use a knockback to get his team to safety. Eternal in trouble, able to blink off in the back left.
Yep.
But this is where we're going to start having a problem for Uther. Already has half health, Li Ming's in the bottom right with Poke. You also have Snitch here with Poke as well. Bakery's moving back to get his own mana from the mana well. But if this is a long duration fight, we could see Dignitas walk away with it.
Yeah, naturally the sustain goes in favor, I feel, of Dignitas. Not only the fact that his Malfurion's heals are a bit more sustain favorable, but also the fact that he's giving the mana a lot as well. But JPL is going to end up going down towards the bottom. That's 3-0 in favor of Tricked eSports. They've started this game out well. If they can continue on doing so, then they're in a good spot.
That was the aggression we needed from Tricked eSport to get themselves in a position where they can take this tribute. Did you see that CC train on ETC? It was a tongue into a cleanse from Bakery, into a Stormbolt from Murden, into a stun from Nape, into Crosby hitting damage. Finally, 19 seconds later, you got a knockback from ETC, but it was too little too late.
Did I see that CC train on ETC? Is what you just said.
I nailed it.
Yes, you did.
Thank you.
I'm impressed.
A+. Got it down. But yeah, God, Tricked eSport went in on JPL there, and eventually he was taken out. Something to watch out for. If someone does get picked off, that is what the strength of this comp is for Tricked eSport. It could be even more insane if we have a Divine Storm, but...
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Trick and his crazy meta never works in Europe, so we'll probably be getting Divine Shield here for the Zeratul, also for the last second clutch saves on Tychus.
Your off-meta crazy shenanigans can be safe when you cast China, my friend. Only then.
China is my true blood, let's be real. Alex Aprochi jumps away, but this is a race to level 10 right now. The level 10 could have hit there. Eternal getting power slided on there. Will jumped out, though. A wonderful cleanse there from Nape.
All right, so let's see how they're going to play this out. Level 10's hit. Adaptation, we have Avatar coming in, Void Prison, and what are we going to get on the other side?
Did we get it?
Divine Storm?
The new meta?
Oh
this
my
is
god.
my meta right here. Yes, okay, this is what I'm talking about. First off, I would have loved if he saved this for the last second pick.
Yeah.
Because the surprise factor is what Divine Storm becomes amazing. The great thing, too, is at level 20 when he gets Divine Hurricane, oh god, the life.
But does he do it? Does he not? Like, I want to see Divine Hurricane.
Yeah.
He might go Redemption, which will be so saddening considering we barely ever get to see Divine Storm. Oh, I'm hoping. I'm hoping, Trick. I'm with you.
I'm hoping
we
too,
can hold
man.
hands together and hope.
We'll hold pinkies and cast it up.
Yes.
Something to note is that Tricked eSport does have Void Prison into Divine Storm combos. Dignitas needs to be fully aware of this. They can never get caught. If 2 to 3 people get caught in a Void Prison, that could be lights out for them instantly with a Divine Storm. Because you literally walk into it as Uther and you hold the R button. You don't mash it. You hold the R button. And the R button goes up instantly when the Void Prison concludes.
Do you know what's funny about that? Is that I haven't seen that symbol in so long, and I looked at it and I'm like, I had to do a double take.
It used to be like a yellow flash too. I think it changed with his last rework. So now we'll go for the boss trade. This is pretty standard on this battleground. We at the top right already seen. It was scattered out by Falstad. However, Eternal is in position to maybe get a pick on Falstad. Ooh, luckily here for Tricked eSport, they will get the tribute in the top right corner next to their boss push, and they're on the cusp here of getting a curse to occur.
So this is the most momentum that Tricked eSport has had during a game so far against one of the big teams here in HGC Europe, so which is great to see. So hopefully they can try and capitalize on that. It was an attempt at August to stop that. That's going to be a mosh pit though. Oh no! All that momentum comes crashing down as Tricked eSport loses 2. And, well, you know, what can this curse really do for them now? They just have to clean up the boss and Dignitas and then be fine and happy. Yeah,
that was super monumental for Dignitas. Snitch actually did see Zeratul floating around in the back left corner, so he called it out to his team. JPL went for the engage. Snitch tailwind into the fight, and they had a quick 5v3, 5v4, because Zeratul was slightly out of position because he was sharking around in the back left. So good call by Dignitas and a great heads-up play for them. The curse is going to be helpful for Tricked eSports. They will be able to mitigate this push for a little bit. But could you imagine the momentum they would have had if they had not lost that fight?
Yeah, that would
They could have had 3 of the forts killed off. They could have been set up for a potential keep maybe in the middle lane. But now they just have to take the slight path here to victory by maybe getting a killer in the middle.
Absolutely. So now we're going to see some aggression coming out here from Tricked eSport. They want to get something done with this curse. They basically ignored the boss completely down to the bottom right for the most part, and they were just kind of looking to pressure on as much as possible. So they're going to get themselves this fort, almost. No. With JPL positioning himself at the front, they were a little bit scared about a power slide coming in with potential root follow-up. But they're going to stick around at the front here. They definitely want it. Look at them.
Yeah, there could have also been a false up flying into a Mighty Gust to push him in. It's a little bit aggressive to pull off against a Zeratul, but there's just too many dynamics here that they have to worry about. So they pulled away, didn't get the fort. Nice defense from Dignitas. Tricked eSport can continue to apply pressure here, though, if they send Dahaka up to a different lane, and they are doing that now, putting Dahaka in the bottom lane while the other four stay grouped up and maneuver around. Mercenary Camp should probably be the next play for both teams.
Right, so I'm just going to clean up where they can. At least Dignitas for themselves haven't fallen behind too much in experience, despite losing the 2 forts on either side, almost losing that 3rd. Going to clean up the camps, as you were mentioning, and let's see what they can actually get done, because Earthquake and the way that they can put all of these heroics together, I feel like just conquer, divide and conquer. You know, with Earthquake, gust a few away, and try and get pickoffs from there is a really strong play here for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I feel like the Tricked eSport comp is very all-in-ish. You get a Void Prayer, then you go for Dynamic Storm, but you have the Mighty Gust that you mentioned. Could be a great way to push it away. The Earthquake can be dropped off. That Earthquake probably isn't going to be used as a form of setting up a fight, but more of a way of disengaging the fight for the re-engage later. You could have a rotation, but for the most part, Tricked eSport has stayed at 4, so yeah, I just see Thrall using that as a way to get away from fights, which is a great use of that heroic.
We haven't seen a Divine Storm yet, right?
We have not.
Okay, so Nappy saving it for the, you know what's going to happen? He's going to use it, and I'm going to go mental, and then nothing's going to happen from it.
The Divine Storm into Tricked eSport getting wiped.
Yeah, that or everyone just walks away from each other.
Well, they will have to face off now. The Tribute has spawned in the bottom left corner. Alex and Pro G is in a great spot for his team to scout out opposing members coming his way so they can all maneuver their way down here and get the great choke / setup they would like to have, as they have a wonderful concave already. Here's JPL walking in with the bush, knocks it away, and the Tribute will move over to Tricked eSports.
Just cleaning up once again, Zeratul towards the bottom, doing some good soaking, likewise Dahaka to the top. So they're pushing themselves towards 16 quite rapidly here, and Eternal's actually doing what I believe is a great job of soaking there, not necessarily pushing the wave, which would then make it easier for Dignitas to soak themselves down there later on to catch up. So wave manipulation is something that doesn't get talked too much about in this game, but I think it's something that's very, very powerful, and you can deny a lot of experience from your opponents with it.
Yeah, especially when you're ahead, just setting up a wave to be... You give up 3 experience minions, but you can get it to where it starts to stack up heavily during a tribute phase, which means you can maneuver down. Yeah, I agree with you. Manipulating the wave can be a strong tool for both teams. Now, I want to ask you, at 16, do we go heavy impact?
I would like to see it. Oh, it is there already. Okay, so yeah, it's going to give them good opportunity to, say, lock down a false dad if he goes a little too far, lock down a Malfurion, because Muradin doesn't mind jumping in that far and trying to... It's like you get a mini stun for a guaranteed stun on your Stormbolt follow-up, so it's a very good combo.
Yeah, I think it really just fits the entire theme of this roster that is built for Tricked eSport. Now, they are setting up relatively well here for the Tribute already. Dahaka comes in from the side, though, looking for the engage. Wilbur down. Rimmer does get the tongue on the ETC there, puts it down 3 stuns, 4 stuns. There's a Divine Storm. It connects with Bakery, and Bakery is getting focused down. He does not have Ice Block here. Can the laser kill him? No, but Alex and Pro G continues the chase.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to get away, so there you go. The Divine Storm happened, and everyone just walked away. But hopefully it has more impact later, and let's continue praying for the Divine Hurricane. Oh.
I think Nappy was just slightly off on its timing. It may have been a cleanse from Bakery, but yes, there was 3 stuns that hit ETC, and then he started walking away. If that Divine Storm was slightly more advanced there, it would have landed, hit Bakery as well as ETC, and then I see a dead cow right on the ground. Ground beef is what you would call it. There is the boss being grabbed in the bottom left, boss in the top right. Both teams will again trade. This is what actually happens when you're on even footing. I feel like the trade is actually a little bit better here for Dignitas because it feels like, in terms of tribute control, Tricked eSport's been doing a really good job of just getting in their face.
Yeah. And, well, that being said, they're trying to rotate up towards the top. Again, favoring Tricked eSport at these curse locations, these tribute locations. It's good for them. I really like that they're getting, you know, a little bit of luck here and there. As Dignitas now going to get set up, putting a scouting drone towards the back, just in case any flanks come along. JPL on the right-hand side there, trying to zone things out and looking to put some pressure on towards Muradin. Instant cleanse there from Nappa, gets him out of harm's way.
That was actually a really good bait by the Alex Prodigy, because the Thernal scattered out JPL on the right side, so Alex Prodigy walks forward to force JPL to come in for the engage so they can take some damage. The immediate cleanse from Nape was helpful, and now all the stuns are in the favor of Tricky Sport if they catch someone. We do have Alex Prodigy dive in on Snitch. Zelia in trouble as well. JPL taking damage. Alex Prodigy, though, low on HP. Thernal does not have a, or not Thernal, Nape does not have a healing to save him.
Oh.
The power slide, though, onto Uther.
And that's what happens when you go just a little bit too far forwards, when Earthquake is still active, unfortunately, there for Nape. And it feels, there's those moments in Earthquake where you're like, oh, it's gone, I'm alleviated, I can move a little bit, and then it hits you again, and you're like, oh, God. It feels like a quagmire, an absolute swamp. So very, very difficult there. And, well, Boss is on core, but have fun, I suppose, Boss. I don't think you'll get much done.
Might get like a % or two with the aid of the minions, maybe, as the armor has been taken out, down to 98%, 95%, 92. Oh my gosh, it's actually doing relatively well here, and it's getting more damage than you, myself, and Snitch thought it would do. They finally do clean it up. 14% taken off of that core.
All good. Still propelling ourselves forwards here. We need to get to 20. If this game ends before level 20, I'm going to be super sad because I just want the Divine Hurricane so badly.
But if it does end before 20, we can tell everyone it was going to be Divine Hurricane, and it'll be A-okay.
I like your thinking.
That's right, man. Let's look at the silver linings in life, man.
I like your thinking. We're going to do that.
Okay, so 18-18, and this is actually a big pivotal moment. There's going to be a tribute relatively soon here, but both teams can get curse off of it, but both teams might not be 20 before that happens. So there's a couple things that can happen. Either A, there is a Bush gank, the good old Chinese meta coming back to Europe a few months later, or there's this big poke war over the tribute, and it looks like we're going to go with the latter here.
So, now, let's see how they're going to be able to control this. They stole their opponent's hard camp over on the other side, and actually that comes back to wave manipulation, where they will lose experience because that hard camp actually killed a wave and didn't go to the middle of the map. But anyway, it looks like Zelia's going to be in the thick of things here. Lands a stun onto Tremor Baller. He burrows away for the moment outside of this Earthquake. If he didn't have Burrow there, that Earthquake would have been lights out for Tremor Baller.
I do like that fight for Tricked eSport, though. Eternal got the chance to bait out the power slide from JPL, which made Rimmer Baller come in for the engage. He went in for the tongue, and there was the Earthquake, and they got the disengage they wanted. Now, they're actually in relatively good control because they have more CC on their basic abilities, which means if they get the engagement they want, they can certainly pick off an opposing member. Also, just kind of out of, while this fight continues on, it's good to see Alex on Muradin, because rarely in the past did he actually even like playing it. It was always JPL that would play it on Dignitas, but that's a stun. Divine Storm confirms the kill on towards ETC. Extra stuns coming in. Oh, Nape, loving it. Now we're in a 5v4, and Nape, though, does get focused down, but he does go into heal mode here. He should be able to keep his teammates alive. Is it enough healing for the Murden? No, it's not. And Mayday is getting resets and just going off right now, getting 2 kills on the opposing members.
Yeah, I was like, Nape, loving the Divine Storm. Your positioning afterwards, it probably isn't the best, though. You're dead. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing about Divine Storm, is it puts you in a situation where you're going to get picked off, but after that, you've used it. So you go back to Malfurion stance. You go stand behind the opposing, or behind your assassins, and you just pull out the heals, especially with that benediction. So Nape just getting a little bit too far out there. When you have a number advantage, you still have to be careful, though, because that burst from Mirror Ball could be insane.
I think the phrase for me is bravely ran away. Have you ever watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
That's the one thing in life I'm missing out on.
I need to educate you at some point. Bravely ran away. Uther, Divine Storm in, and then bravely run away, my friend. But Dignitas now going to get themselves a keep back on out. Good stuff from them, considering that they capitalized on the situation in the previous fight very, very well after all was said and done.
Dignitas doing what Dignitas does best. They weather the storm in the early game if they are going against a comp, and then late game they just turn it on and find the engages they want. And they are now level 20. They have a boss up in 5 seconds in the bottom left. Tricked eSport is close to 20, but not quite there. But they also have to realize that a boss could be on the way. JPL, though, does set up in the bush. Here's a power slide onto Crossbait. There's the follow-up route. There goes the cleanse. Alex Approaching in the front line. The Divine Storm hits nothing, and that is going to be a mosh pit here from JPL. Great Void Prison. Can they kill ETC?
Yeah, the Void Prison count was really good to delay any damage that was coming out from those mosh pit targets. Nape unfortunately got caught between a rock and a hard place. He has taken redemption, I think, so he should be able to res back up here and join the fight in a moment as they're going for boss. Can they challenge this?
They have to. I feel like you have a keep in the bottom that's gone. You have catapult pressure.
Big damage.
Oh my gosh, Alex the Prodigy is getting focused down. Rimmer Dote's coming from the side though. It is on Zillia. There is a tongue. Crossbait bringing out the damage. There will be the cleanse from Bakery to keep him alive. Man, these cleanses from both supports have been fantastic in these fights.
Yep, absolutely. But the problem that I see for Tricked is that, well, when Earthquake now comes off cooldown, we have the level 20 Earthquake talent in play, which is Earthen Shields, and that gives so much team survivability. A lot of people theorized back in the day when Earthquake wasn't that good, that if you could get to level 20 and get Earthen Shields, it was actually amazing. So now in its current form, Alex takes so much damage. It is strong. That's going to be a Gus. They're going for the fight. The Twilight Dream as well.
And Uther in trouble at the same time. There's a Hammering. Mane getting the reset. Eternal on the right side will blink in, trying to take out Snitch, but Snitch is still alive. Bakery keeping an eye on him and healing him when he can, but ETC in the back right already on Cosbay. We're going to also have a fight down here in the bottom right as Dahaka tries to burrow away, but that is another kill, and Dignitas takes 3.
Eternal, you got to play like a god. Don't think that's going to happen, though. It looks like Team Dignitas absolutely on the warpath, takes themselves some big, big hits, and it comes back to that old mantra of, as much as people like, don't hit the tank, actually, yes, hit the tank. You saw how hard they hit people like Alex the Pro G, and it absolutely ripped them apart, and they had very little front line to speak of after that. That's going to be Eternal falling down. The core will go down as well. Dignitas is able to take a 2-0 lead here in our first series of the day.
Dignitas is finding a way. They're getting the isolation in the late game, going up 2-0 as Caleris mentioned, but they just continue to do this every single time. If you ever see a moment where you think Dignitas isn't really working right here, in the late game, they just know how to find an opposing team and pick them off and then go for the throat. It's happened 4 times now, it feels like, in the last 2 weeks, and teams really need to get around this entire thing that's happening and try to prevent it from happening.
It kept coming from, in all of those fights, the collapse is on towards Alex every single time. I think there's not a very few wolves there from Thrall that actually missed Alex to then have everybody from Dignitas just absolutely fold in on his position. So very, very powerful to limit that frontline strength there from Tricked eSport.
All right, well, we'll be back with game number 3 between Dignitas and Tricked eSports. See you soon.